I am uneasy in the presence of so many adherents. They attacked my people, and here we are, waltzing around their occupied territory as if nothing is wrong. It's never that easy. Fair warning, people might not like seeing you in the company of an animancer. But don't worry, I won't cause any trouble. I know when to keep a low profile. None taken. I like it that way. But for your sake, I'll be on my best behavior. Anyway, thanks for listening. Just wanted to get that off my chest. You too.
Ori in the brush! Baby's in the garden!
Glad that's over.
Well, you can't say that Solace isn't taking things seriously. At least not now.
And then mud. I don't like the way that lava is rising. That's why
He's not
Watch
the one
yourself
I'm
out,
worried
Linda.
about.
Sure,
Someone's
keep
going
us
to
going.
tell the
I knew it.
outpost.
You know, the moment I saw that Atira, I knew it was a bad sign.
Everyone, please, do not panic. Simply exit the key.
Can you believe it? In all my years, I never thought the old volcano would blow. The world sure is changing.
Already have a camp set up outside the key.
You need something?
Marius! Praise Abaddon! You are alive!
What's happening? Why's everyone running around like blessed fools?
The volcano erupted. Any minute now, we're going to be flooded. We're evacuating. Kostya's gone to open the lava sluice gates, but they've been disused for so long. When Forja erupted, I thought... Oh, my boy. I'm so glad you're alive. Envoy, well, I'm glad you survived your trip up the mountain. We're minutes away from being overrun by lava flows. I have to get my people out. You must leave now! We told you, we don't know, and this is hardly the time to be asking.
Tell that to the Steel Garrote. They found a way to the garden, and it's somewhere beneath the keep. They were about to storm your gates when the volcano erupted.
They're all dead, by the way. You're welcome.
The Steel Garrote were marching on the keep? How? Why would they think the garden was beneath Solace?
This is not possible. She couldn't have been working on her own. She must have had help. Someone at the highest level of leadership. Someone on the council.
No, it couldn't have been Kostya. It can't be.
I should have listened. I'm so sorry, Envoy.
I trusted Kostya. We had our arguments, but we took an oath to Nandru. The garden was our sacred duty, and he betrayed us. I can't believe I didn't see this coming. I was a fool. I have failed my duties. Kostya. I knew he was making overtures, but I didn't think he'd go that far. The ambassador has not responded to Kostya's overtures, has he? I made sure of that when I threw the ambassador's replies in the forge fire. I understand how Kostya could be tempted by false notions of freedom and prosperity, but... Oh, this is entirely too much. How could he have done this? I can't believe Kostya handed the steel garrote a secret we protected for hundreds of years. Mayu. Who knows what he'll do with the sluice gates? He cares so little for the keep that I worry he's going to have us drowning in lava.
I will. Abaddon stay my tongue if I betray him, but I will. I will show you where Kostya has gone. If you find that he's doing anything other than opening the gates that would protect our home from the lava, I would ask that you stop him.
Mihala.
I do not wish to see him dead, but if he would risk the keep, then he risks our lives. I cannot suffer those who would harm us to live. Now I must return to the evacuation, and you must go on your way. Let's hope we don't need your wishes. If your arrival is indeed a message from Nandru, I hope he remembers his people well. I hope he is proud of us. But Marius, make it back to us in one piece.
I assume that's an order, Commandant?
Head through the door in the smithy. You'll find Kostya in the lava tubes beneath the keep. Go now, and go with the gods.
Karun, did you see that? That was Kostya who shoved me.
Outsider! What can I...
They went through this door.
It's odd, but there's a beauty to this place.
Is that lava really high for everyone, or just me?
That's all of them. We need to keep moving if we're gonna catch Kostya.
These poor wardens. Kostya must be behind this. Let's hurry.
Voices silenced.
Kostya isn't going to wait around for us. Keep moving.
They wound us, and we wound in return.
Take your time. You're dead.
Kostya is going to start without us if we don't get a move.
Endless night. When will the sun rise?
Kostya doesn't care who dies. That Korba must be stopped.
We're in a bit of a rush, Envoy.
My mother loved it. She said she... God... This is really her. If Kostya knew about this, he'd be selling tickets.
I'd come across references to this before. Nothing could have prepared me.
We too!
A spark. Daylight. As
You. I know.
here. Now. It cannot be.
My brother. Soul of my soul. How did you find me here? I have been here for so long. My memories are tattered. They fall apart when I look too long at them. But I was a man called Nandru once, beloved of a terrible god. I remember it all. I feel Sabadal's mind beneath yours, swimming in the deep. You should run. A child keeps a beetle in a jar. He does not know the beetle requires air, sustenance, freedom. He does not understand that if it shakes the jar, pulls off a wing, the beetle will be hurt. The child only wants to keep the beetle. It feels good to have control. We are both souls in a jar. Yours is just bigger than mine, for now. That was the name my mother gave me. But that was never what they called me. To them, I was beloved. An endearment my God wielded against me like a cudgel. I would have killed them with it if I could. But they were beloved of me, too. That was the name they gave themselves, stolen from the ancient souls whose deaths gave rise to them, to us. We were little more than appendages to them. That is why I must ask you to destroy them. You have seen them, as I have. Memories of their ancient, chosen children. Rips in the fabric between the here and the beyond that allow the dreams of the dead to leak through. Memories of the Akida, people like you or I, who loved Sabadal and were betrayed by them. This land was once a jungle, rich, alive. I saw it through their eyes. The people tried to look after themselves, to rely less on Sabadal. But to be relied upon was all their God desired. They felled a tree, and for that slight, Sabadal turned their world to ash, ignited the breath in their lungs, and made their people into dust. Sabadal burned the world, and the people who revered them suffered for it. So that I would be confronted every day with what our God had done. So that I would not grow weak and give in. So that I would not go to them and do what they have asked of you. So that I would never set them free. No, their final death came later. A gift to the Akida from the true gods, who wished to bring their children back to them, back to her. The rightful queen, Wodiga. She is the center of everything. Yes, you see them with eyes unclouded. The ruined cities, the crevasses cleaved into the earth. They remade the land in their image. It reflects their twisted heart. You, my brother, who are more brave than I, go now to the garden and hang the gardener from their tree. Your mind cannot understand it, but your soul, when the opportunity is before you, it will know what to do. You need only walk a little more. You are nearly at the end. You know, I always meant to die down here. To siphon my soul into a lonely pillar, disconnected from the stone that makes our world. Disconnected from them. I only hope that Sabadal releases you to the same long peace. I do not know my end. In that I find a peace beyond any even the true gods can dream of. It is only a door, carved and warded by my own rough hands. It knew me. It will know you, because the same thorn tears at us both. Do not thank me. Only do as I asked. Destroy them, rather. And when you see Wodika, tell her I said hello.
All right? We lost you. But not like before.
Another day, another chat with Sumadra. Though this one seems different. So, do we have a plan for Kostya once we find him?
Kostya's already proven himself an enemy of Solace. Whatever you choose to do with him is fine with me.
The sluice gates are just ahead. Kostya's probably already there. Let's move.
Lava's rising. We have to stop this now. Good. You're here. Help me destroy the switch. We can't risk someone turning it and opening the gates. If the keep falls so that we might live, so be it. Yes, exactly! I'm saving my people, Envoy. With your help, or without it. And so you brought it back here? Among the wardens? It doesn't matter how it works. It was not present in the tasks until your people arrived. Oh, perhaps this is right. Another reason to destroy this place and go. This is how it should be. So long as the keep stands, my people are trapped here. Doomed by an oath to a dead man. Our people were nomads for ages until we built the keep. When it falls, we'll be free to explore the world again. I will not watch my people rot here for the sake of a pointless oath.
Well, he has a point. But it's not worth letting Solace fall to prove it.
You, of all people, are speaking in favor of the suffocating grasp of tradition.
I'm talking about not destroying our ancestral home just because you don't like Nandru. You're just as blinded by those traditions as Mihala. Have the courage to leave if you want, but don't force everyone else to.
Then my conviction only grows stronger, Envoy. Nandru never wanted what was best for us. He built us a tomb and abandoned us to it. Do not speak his name to me as if it could mean anything to you. Ha! Finally! Proof she's got a spine. Well, Envoy, now's your chance. Are you going to be a good little minion and do as she asked? Or will you let me save my people from themselves?
Burn, then grow anew. A flow to purge the weight. We twine.
That is all I ask.
You can't be Bleste serious.
You should hurry on with your task. The lava's rising quickly now. Safe travels to the garden. You'll find your entrance just past this door. I suspect you're the only one aside from Nandru who can open it.
Absolument Vowintu, Envoy. You are lucky I don't feel like fighting another Adiran right now.
Come on, boy. Let's free these folks from their past, shall we?
Good old Solace Keep. Destroyed from within.
The poor dears. Hopefully the Pargrunin will one day see this tragedy and realize all the good it did for them. I hope whoever's left will take care of each other. It's the only way they'll survive.
You Adiran Kamayu. Take a few more moments to think closely before you go destroying your friends' homes next time.
Where's this coming from? Solace wasn't a home, it was a prison. We all saw that.
What gives you the authority to decide the fate of an entire settlement? That fits the Steel Garrote, but not you.
Darling, think it through. The Pargrunin was stuck rotting in their keep, and the envoys freed them.
What about those who wanted to stay there, huh? What life are they free to live now?
Whatever life they want. Same as you chose when you left.
Oh, so because I wanted to leave, it should be destroyed? I had no idea I had that kind of power.
Darling, it wasn't your decision. Clearly you didn't wish it. Exactly.
Oh, so you think you know what's best for them? For us? You, an envoy from Usundan Adir.
That's what Adir wants. For us to stop worrying about our own destiny and leave it in their hands.
Agree to Bleste disagree.
We could all use a break. Let's camp and get some rest, hmm?
I, for one, could use a long rest. And I'm betting the envoy could, too.
I know, I'm excited too, dearie. But we need our beauty sleep, don't we?
Envoy? Blacked out at that Audra and the lava tubes beneath Solace. But it seemed different somehow. Right. I actually believe you. This is madness, Envoy. You spoke to the founder of Solace. Well, that's not what I was expecting. People in Solace always claim they're speaking the word of Nandru. And here you are, actually hearing from the man. Doesn't even really matter what he said, if you ask me. There are hundreds of Pargrunen who'd give anything to hear Nandru's voice. Blessed stay impressive is what that is. Envoy, what do you need? Until next time.
I must admit, I had my doubts about Solace. It was like a dungeon, except the wardens were the prisoners. What possessed you to destroy the keep? You broke an egg to make an omelette, in other words. Maybe it isn't all bad. Maybe now the wardens can decide who and what they are, with no traditions holding them back. Or maybe I'm guilty of wishful thinking, trying to find meaning in the midst of chaos. Wherever you go, you break people out of their habits. You banish the old ways. Or perhaps you don't give yourself enough. Wherever that power comes from, whether it's your heritage or political status, it's a terrible burden. I don't envy you, but at least you keep things interesting. Pleasant dreams.
Marius, I know Sol...
Let me get this straight. You spoke to the spirit of Nandru, a godlike, same as you. What did he say? Any advice? Any words of encouragement? Not the inspirational speech we were hoping for, then. I should have seen this coming. Never listen to the dead. They're cynical, full of regret, and determined to make us all miserable. Thankfully, you're still alive. Fate is in your hands. What happened to Nandru was ages ago. Plenty of time to reconsider one's choices. No one is closer to Sapadal than you are. Nandru lost that privilege when he died, which means you alone can judge the god of the living lands. Your opinion is the one that counts. That's all right. When the time comes, you'll figure it out. For what it's worth, I think you're going to be fine. No matter what you do about Sapadal, it can't get any worse. I wish I could say the same for the living lands. If I must.
food you've eaten. Go.
Phew.
Gods.
Can't
This is
believe it's
Kostya's
gone.
idea.
What do we do now? Oh, where do we go?
It's you again. Welcome to our new home. I know. What can I do? I take over the job and all this happens.
Yes.
What can I...
I can't believe it.
Everyone, keep calm. I'm sure the council will never...
The keep is gone, Envoy. I cannot believe it. Surely something must still stand? A lie. You call our oath a lie? No, we will not discuss this. Tell me about the keep. Does any of it remain? It doesn't matter, Envoy. An oath is an oath. If Nandru thought it best, then so do I. Now tell me about the keep. No, no, no. Tell me you're lying, Envoy. It can't be true. It can't all be gone. Where is Kostya? He won't lie to me. Thank Nandru that he is alive. There is mercy in this universe. I've decided. Kostya will assume leadership of the Pargrunen. He has always believed in a better life for our people. One that I could not provide. If he wishes to retain me as an advisor, I will stay. But I failed at the oath I swore to Nandru, to keep our people in solace and protect the garden. I did everything in my power to uphold Nandru's oath. And it brought us to a place of conflict and ruin. Kostya sees a better life for our people. And he believes I stand in the way. Perhaps he is right. Marius, could I speak to you?
Right, did she just ask that? Or am I having another nightmare? Good. Let's save the hugs and tears for another time. Okay, let's hear it.
I'm so glad you're safe and that you're surrounded by good people.
All right. Waiting for the but?
There's no but waiting. That's all I wanted to say. Truly. I am genuinely happy you found friendship, Marius.
You always deserved more than the world gave you. That's all I wanted to say.
Well, you've always given me more than I deserved.
It was a true thing.
Closer! We have waited so long!
Well, this is it, I guess. Feels very different from the last time I left Galawain's tusks. And now, without Solace, there's no reason for me to ever come back. Clearly you thought those few good points were worth the destruction of Solace. Agree to disagree.
Please, be honest with us, Marius. Are you going to be alright?
I'll be fine. It's not like I have any more childhood homes that can be destroyed.
Solace is gone, but its people aren't. You're still here, and we're still with you. Not to spoil the moment with good news, but I doubt the rest of the island has been quiet while we've been looking for the garden. Things have only gotten more tense since Fjord, and the Steel Garrote probably hasn't been doing us any favors on that front.
Especially when they're led by a woman who doesn't seem interested in staying dead. Not to mention, after we take care of the Envoy's little god problem, we'll still have an empire bearing down on us. We should be so lucky.
Can't say I'm too excited about just walking into the garden. I grew up learning I needed to protect that place, but it never felt like more than a children's tale to me.
I hear you. This island is weird enough when all we have to worry about are vengeful plans and soul-altering corruption.
Am I the only one who's looking forward to the garden? We're pioneers, stepping into the great unknown, a land of mystery.
We have to remember to love them in spite of their lack of proper enthusiasm, dearie.
Can you imagine? An untouched spiritual wilderness just waiting for us. I have a theory about the garden, or a warning, depending on how you want to look at it. Sapadal has been imprisoned a long time. The garden will be a reflection of their dreams, their nightmares, their madness.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw visions or hallucinations, and not even the fun kind. Anytime, darling.
Before we go any further, I have to ask you something. You told the Inquisitor that you intend to kill Sapadal. Is that still the plan? For once, I'm all out of ideas. Anyone else?
I'm a soldier. I prefer leaving these decisions to people like you, but if you're asking for input, I don't entirely disagree with Ludwig on this. She may be a monster, but she's not the only one the Living Lands has seen. Sapadal could render this whole island as barren as the tusks in a fit of anger.
Sapadal caused the Dream Scourge. All of this pain. I don't think I can forgive that. Especially after seeing Iancu. I just can't let that go.
Think of what we could learn from Sapadal. Perhaps there's a way we can keep everyone alive.
Sapadal is responsible for the spiritual health of the living lands, and the island has suffered for it. No matter what the Inquisitor said, I don't believe there's a right or wrong choice to make here. Just the one you believe in. Putting an end to Sapadal's imprisonment one way or another. Remember, we're stepping into a realm that is both physical and spiritual in nature, if you can call it nature. There's no telling how long we'll be gone. For all we know, time could run backwards in the garden.
Not a chance. We're a crew now, so you're stuck with me until the end. Marius?
I told you I'd be with you till the end. I don't go back on my promises. What about you, Giada?
You're not going into the garden without me. I have to see this with my own eyes. Yatsli, if you feel like running back to Quilici, now would be the time. No one would think less of you.
And tell Quilici that I missed out on the most exciting part.
You're gonna get me going too. We're with you. All the way.
I plan on wandering the garden whether I'm traveling with you or not. I have to find out what the big deal is.
Agreed. I'm not waiting in camp while the rest of you have all the fun. Hope to see you out there, Marius.
Well, let's go then. We can't keep your god waiting.
So, this is it. The spiritual epicenter of the living lands. Where it all began, and where it all ends. For so long I have looked out on a horizon full of possibilities. Now that it's here, I'm too scared to breathe. Oh, why am I so anxious? That's certainly true. No Animancer has ever set foot in the garden before. Do you remember when Manto Pastor sent you after the heart of an Adragan? It feels like only yesterday you were running errands for me. We've come a long way. We are standing in the beating heart of the living lands. Just imagine what we can do with it. I almost turned my back on Animancy. And if I'm being honest, it was a relief. But now that we're here, who am I to reject my upbringing, my potential? My parents were going to build a better world for Animancers. That dream was their legacy to me. You and I have come farther than they did, to an impossible place where anything can happen. Anything. Of course you are. I don't know what's going to happen, but you've had my back since the beginning. I won't forget it. Well, that depends. I know a few spooky stories about the living lands. They may or may not have anything to do with the garden.
Okay, but if something goes bump in the night, I'm waking you up.
Let me think of a good one. There are so many, I can't decide. Which do you want to hear first? I know one about a ranger's dream, one about a haunted well, and one about a golden city. One sunny day, a ranger took a nap in the woods of Emerald Stair. He awoke to a forest of dead trees, the night sky full of unfamiliar stars. After getting his bearings, he walked in the direction of Fior Messivernal, but the settlement was gone. In its place was the most beautiful garden, hills bursting with flowers, the grass as soft as Valian silk. Enchanted by this vision, he bent to pick a rose, but its thorn cut like a knife, severing 3 fingers. Then, a voice filled his head, shouting, "Go now, before the land takes you, body and soul." He awoke in his own bed, a wilted rose clutched in his two-fingered hand. Of course. Which one did you have in mind? Once upon a time, a young girl left town to fetch water from the local well. After pulling up the rope, she discovered the head of a Delimgan, one of the tree folk, staring at her from the bucket. "Return me to my grove," it said, "and I will grant you 3 wishes." So she carried the head into a peaceful clearing and sat it down on a tree stump. First, she wished for long life. The head granted her wish. Second, she wished to be impervious to a sword blade. Granted. And finally, she wished to know what happens after we die. No one ever saw her again. All they found was an Adra pillar in the middle of a clearing, next to an old stump. Of course. Which one did you have in mind? Many years ago, when Fior Messiverno was barely a dot on the map, an animancer got lost in the wilderness. He came upon a pair of ancient trees, their trunks and branches intertwined. A strange light shone in the space between the trees, and beyond that light, a city of gold. So the animancer returned with an axe to chop the trees apart and fit his body through the narrow gap. But with every blow of his axe, the towers of the golden city fell. The walls crumbled, the lights flickered out. By the time he made it through, there was nothing left. Only the bones of a once mighty civilization. As for the 2 trees, they were dead, hacked to splinters, leaving him no path back the way he came. Very perceptive. What do you think it is? I have my own opinion, but I'm curious about yours. No need to be bashful on my account. These stories might not shine any light on the garden, but they could inform the way we think about it. First, the garden is beyond all mortal understanding. If you think you're safe here, you're not. And second, when you walk into the unknown, make sure to bring a friend. Life is full of such contradictions. I say it's better to acknowledge them rather than pretend they don't exist. Hey, you're a good listener. Not everyone has the patience to hold their questions to the end. Alas, that is all I can tell you about the garden. For now, at least. Who could rest at a time like this? Does anyone want to share?
Looks like we'll have to find another way through. Or not.
Kane was here? As in, Kane was here
That was a close one.
Hey.
I think this is the only way down. Walk like it's hard.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Or am I going mad? What is the meaning of this? It can't be real. This is an illusion. A joke. Tell me we're both seeing the same thing. I was afraid of that. Why am I cursed to see this again? Why does the memory follow me wherever I go? Don't be ridiculous. Whoever is responsible, I'm tired of the bullshit. Step forward and answer for yourself, coward.
Godlike of Sapadal, long have we awaited you.
Finally, you've come home.
It's not just me, right? The plants are talking.
Oh my gods. They're alive? What do you think you're doing?
Giada Castel, welcome.
Wait, you know me? How do you know me?
For centuries, our whispers filled the silence. Then we heard your mother's call.
My mother? You heard her?
She reached out to us, using the tool you now carry.
But that would have been years ago. The first time she used the phantasmal focus. The only time she used it.
We heard, and Sapadal answered, saying in a great voice, "We are here. You have found us."
But when Sapadal speaks, the living lands trembles. The voice of a god can be a terrible thing.
No, this can't be. What exactly happened to my parents? Tell me, please. I need to know.
Sapadal wanted to be heard, and in so doing, twisted your family in body and soul, broke them into a more suitable shape.
Sapadal does not know the limits of their strength. Mistakes were made.
Mistakes were made? Do you have any idea what my life has been since your little mistake?
After the incident, your parents were like us, and we took pity, so we helped them move on, as they wanted.
In the end, they thought only of you, their pride, and their love.
That's it. That's really it. The answer I've been searching for all these years. Sapadal destroyed my family. I know they are. My mother and father would not have wanted this. A good animancer embraces death. And they were the best.
We are companions. Toys. Diversions. Sapadal fashioned us out of dreams and memories.
I can't believe it never occurred to me. They're animats. Ancient vessels held together with duty and loyalty. Their design is unusual. Organic, much like the garden itself. Sapadal's work. All this time, your god has been making imaginary friends. Drawing pictures on the walls of their cell. It's almost too sad to imagine. I don't hold you responsible. I don't even know if I hold Sapadal responsible. Your god has the intelligence of a scatterbrained goat, but that isn't their fault. It's simply how they came into being. One final question, spirits. What is this? Why are you trying to ruin my life again? Is this your way of haunting me? What is it you want?
Not to be pedantic, but that was 4 questions.
We want to apologize on Sapadal's behalf, and for the part we played in your sorrow.
They want to apologize. I came to the garden for answers, not to offer forgiveness.
going to hurt. Zapadal has been trapped here for millennia. Alone. Confused. Screaming into the void for anyone who will listen. When they heard the voice of a stranger, they overreacted. How can I hold that against you? Apology accepted.
Thank you, Chiara. And thank you, Godlike, for bringing her all this way.
The time has come for you to find your patron, as you were meant to.
A garden is whatever you plant in it.
Zapadal wishes to be understood, as all mortals do. Seen, as all mortals are. What you see is the truth, glimpsed through their eyes, and they wish to share it.
Now that you have returned to the garden, Zapadal has everything they need. We will fade, as all things fade. Death is indifferent, not cruel, not merciful, merely inevitable. The pulling of an ancient weed.
We will return to the soil from which we emerged. In time, you will do the same. May the living lands receive you with open arms. Farewell.
Goodbye. We need to talk about this, but not here.
Give her space, dearie. Giada will speak more when she's ready.
Let's... No time to waste. We need to find...
Envoy, what do you need? You too. Envoy, what do you need? Let's make sure that the only one we haven't talked about? I don't know. She's not so bad. I mean, she's loud and but other than that... Pleasant dreams.
All this time, I thought my parents died in a freak accident. An experiment gone awry. A mistake. And in a way, they did. But it wasn't their mistake. It was Zapadal's. Generous? Perhaps. Until I knew the whole story, there was never anyone to blame. This whole experience has me considering my family's work in a different light. Look at what my mother accomplished. Armed with her research and her wits, she found a god. When you speak to a god, it's nothing, barely a reflex. But for the rest of us, it's unimaginable. No animancer can live up to that. Certainly not me. I thought their legacy was a curse, and I could only break it by completing their work. I was wrong. Of course I can. But now, I can do them for the right reasons. One thing is certain. When it comes to animancy, I need to unlearn some of my old assumptions. I wanted to tame the spirit of the living lands. Now, there's so much about it I don't understand. And it's creepy, but wonderful. They probably won't even notice me. But stranger things have happened. I believe the power flowing out of the garden drove this island mad. That has to end. Through animancy, we could help the living lands recover. It would take a lifetime, maybe more, but that's a small price to pay. Then again, who am I to interfere with an ecosystem that I barely understand? On the other hand, half the fun of animancy is stirring the pot and getting into trouble. I think I know what I want, but there are too many variables to consider. What do you think? I have a lot of catching up to do, and plenty of room to grow. But I think you're right. So be it. Starting today, I don't have to live up to anyone's example. Animancy can be whatever I make of it. I know they would be. And not just because some ancient plans told me so. Now I just have to decide which field of research to pursue. But no need to bore you with the details. I've only got one lifetime as Giata Castel, so I'd better make it count. Hey, you helped me through a very difficult time. I just wanted to say thank you.
Giata's parents would be proud, and maybe a bit worried.
When you find Sapadal, I hope you tell him how much I love what they've done with this place. And you've got to enjoy it where you can find it. Besides, as divine prisons go, I can imagine much worse. And Sapadal definitely isn't docile. Not from what we saw on Mount Forja, or outside the ruins of Nakukubel. Exactly. And what are the odds that centuries of imprisonment have improved their temper? Setting them free means gambling with the lives of everyone in the living lands. It's not worth it, but it's not my call. And I don't envy you having to deal with a loose cannon of a god. But I envy even less the mess you're going to have when we escape this place. Lucky thing your emperor sent his best representative as his envoy, right? You'll have your work cut out for you. You may have averted the attack on Fjord, but this is one situation where it's the thought that counts. And yeah, I know that's on the Steel Garrote, but it's not lost on anyone that your people despise animancy. Not when Heelgard banned the practice in Paradise. Oh, I wish I were finished. Ringra may have unleashed some powerful magic against the Dream Scourge, but she left a lot of corpses in her wake. It doesn't look good for your people. Not when Ludwig was also in the region, and your people had a garrison at Eagle's Reach. And then there's Solace, the oldest continuously inhabited stronghold in the living lands, the pride of the Pargrunen, now reduced to ash and rubble. Yep, and the other half will have stories about how the Stilgarrode and the sudden arrival of the Adiran envoy hastened their exodus. Fairly or not, a lot of blame's gonna be laid at Adir's door. And if I had to guess, I don't think Hilgard's been helping matters while you've been out here. If and when we get out of here, we're walking into a powder keg. And you'll have to choose a side. That's the part I don't envy. I admire your principles, but don't underestimate what they could demand of you. Look, I've been there. I fought for Rauatai's interest in the Deadfire for longer than I like to admit. And lost my stomach for it eventually. That's how I wound up here. But I will tell you now, I never could have fought my own brothers and sisters. I hope that's not what it comes down to. But I'll understand if that's a line you can't cross. I don't mean to burden you. It's late, and you've still got a god to face. Just know that whatever you choose, I'll fight alongside you. I'm with you to the end of this. Anytime. Good night, envoy. You restless too? Sorry. I barely plan further than the next meal, and you're asking me? I don't know, envoy. I just try to take each day and each battle as it comes. And you can see where that's gotten me. But I think it's possible to be too prepared. Exactly, yeah. You know what all of us think by now. Ultimately, you're the one who has to decide what to do with Sapado and where your loyalties lie. My advice? Get a good night's rest, and when the moment comes, follow your instincts. Don't forget that every soul in the living lands hangs in the balance. But look at it this way. Whatever you choose, you'll end the Dream Scourge, and you'll give the living lands a future. And I'd wager that's better than where we are now. Try to get some rest. Hey, Giada. How are you holding up after seeing them? than those, plant people.
Well, I've seen things not intended.
A breath held. Trepidation. You are close, yet distant still. Your soul is small. The essence weighs like the sea on your chest. We feel the pressure, darkness, yet somehow strengthened resolve. We wonder. Deer leaps at its reflection in the lake. A debt of knowledge we concede. Sky is green. The fish breathes air. We can no longer imagine. No, we must recall, plumb the depths of our memory. We would run, roll with the tide, sink our fingers into new earth. Whisper in the fields, lift the hills gently in our hands. Disturb the dirt, but spare the blooms. Shake the roots slowly. Vengeance denied, squandered. This cannot be. We spoke of growth. We speak of freedom when the hand still clasps around our throat. Wake now. Find us.
I see the disciple has found his way into the cell.
No. Clarion Steel, we know this voice. Why is she here?
It seems I was not clear enough when I last spoke with you.
Out. Out. Her voice pierces our skin.
Look at this place. A quagmire of your parasite's worst instincts. Can you even begin to grasp the forces that you tamper with? Apparently, I must. The situation is worse than I perceived. Do you think you're special, with your god's thorn in your side? Do you believe you can hold dominion over chaos itself? When even the collective fury of the real gods could only confine the sniveling creature to this wasteland. Who else would have the strength?
It is true. She twists the knife. The seas run red with memory.
In time, the gods felt the wretched powers seeping through this land. Its madness would consume us all if it was not contained. Chaos is a blight. It must be scourged before it spreads. A pity that its followers could not be reasoned with. The poor godless, worshipping the very thing that subsumed them. We could not excise the rot and spare the roots that nourished it. There was none. Utmost chaos calls for unwavering rebuke. I see what you're implying. I will not acknowledge it.
Why does our prison not protect us? Help us! Silence her!
Listen to its tantrum. It knows neither order nor sense. Adir is the only thing holding back the tide of entropy. The answer is obvious to those with the courage to accept it. You are here now. There's still time to succeed where Ludwig failed. Face your false god and end its reign of terror permanently. The path of justice is fraught. Only the strong may follow it. I leave you with a warning. The false god's essence is strong here. It taints all it touches. My magfolk may be hostile to you. Stay vigilant and remember your oaths.
I never thought I'd learn of the Godless's fate from their killer.
That's it. From now on, I pray to no god. That'll show him.
What is that? I know that place, right? Well, that was... No. Why is this? They're dead. Like it just happened. Like I remember.
This is the moment I found you, bundled and crying, while our parents died.
Viate. You're not here. You can't be here.
I am dead, Viate, from the Dream Scourge. We are in the garden. As strange as this seems, it is normal here. What I am now is much better than what I was becoming then. That much is certain.
Oh, I have faced this already. Why force me to do it again? Then for the gods' sake, what is it? I am exhausted, Viate. I can't take much more of this.
You know where we are. This is my memory. When everyone died, and I found you back in your tent. How much of this do you remember? I can't tell from your eyes.
We dealt with Razvan. He got what was coming to him.
I am better off now than when I was fungus-brained and ready to die. I am part of this land's god now. A dream of the land.
Were you always such a blessed day poet? Or is that a death thing?
Sapadal wants to understand. They know your envoy very well, but not the people next to them.
I have what I needed. We dealt with Razvan. We avenged our parents' deaths.
Then maybe it was I who needed to speak with my Viate. With a clear mind this time. Even when we were children, You kept me alive, first by needing my protection, and then by being who you turned out to be. When you left Solace, it was like I lost more than my best friend. I lost my need to live.
I know. And I'm not sure I'll ever live that down. I don't think I know how.
You've always done everything you could to survive. It's time for you to learn how to live.
So, what do we do now?
They're right, Viate. This lava flows directly between us.
We've both been through so much. But I can see that it's all behind us now. Just another thing we've survived after all this time.
A fine way to put it. More like tolerate, in my case, but right.
See what I put up with, Envoy? Still wonder why I left Solace?
Get out of here. Hike up your waistline and go talk to a god. They'll be waiting.
Well, it was good to see you, Viate.
Take care of
Marius, dear. How are you feeling?
I'm good to see an old friend, you know?
And saying goodbye, that's the hard part.
Talk to us, Marius. Yes, if you think talking will help.
Well, obviously it wasn't my favorite thing.
Grief is strange.
No one
You
was
lose
left to clean up the battlefield.
And you carry around a little
Now
hole
it's just a
inside yourself till you
time-forgotten
die.
room.
Maybe the soul will pay for the dead.
Another soul for the wheel.
I recognize this. It belongs to Tama.
This room, this place is cruel. Let's find your god, Envoy. Tama. No. No. I dealt with this. We stood at his memorial together. What is this, Envoy? This is your god's prison, not mine. Before we visited his memorial, yes. but I thought I'd broken free. I can't focus on his face. His features keep blurring, changing. I'm not sure. I know it's him, but I don't recognize him as the Tama I knew. It's like he keeps changing in front of me. Does that make sense? That's the problem. I don't know what I expect anymore. I used to remember his face so clearly from that night. His rigid jaw, the way his eyes crinkled at the corners. He was in pain, but trying to hide it. I see everything. All his moments at once. Joy, sadness, anger, or heartbreak, stomachache. Everything from the handful of years that I knew him and the decades before we'd met. He's almost a stranger. I'm not. All this time I kept him frozen in his worst moment. When he was suffering and when I failed him. But now that I see him as more, it's like he's free of that. Yeah. I never realized what an injustice I was doing to us both. You're right. I am. It's like you said. I'm not letting my regret define me. I won't make that mistake again. And we've got farther to go before this is over. I never thought I'd meet someone I respect the way I respected Tama. But you've made some tough calls, and you've kept your head and your heart in the right place. So whatever comes next, I'm with you until the end. Now let's go find this god of yours and end the dream scourge. When we reach them, what do you think we'll find? A victim? A villain? True enough. Let's end this. I'll follow your lead, as always.
That's done. Child's play.
Patience. Breakfast done? Who's hungry?
Sea office in its heyday, in its full splendor.
I should have brought my sketchbook.
Happening as the affliction fester even here. It threatens our heart. We cannot fight this invasion alone. Strange words. Why do they soothe us? hear all the yesterdays before. Nothing grows, nothing dies. Here or beyond, we cannot say. We feel no spark of the Tibaris Inachus in this place. We cannot see it through their eyes. We slumber here, alone. Why would they not create with us? They took it all away. A tide of souls thrown upon the wheel. The ground gives way. We fall. Now our memory is a wound reopened. They came suddenly. The stillness of night split by grinding steel. Not beast, not plant. How could we have sensed it? First, they blinded us. Shining eyes pierced the concealing dark. Then they burned. Smoke ensnared the moonlight. The Akita screamed. A means to an end. We saw a terrible design in the roaring flames. They had carved a path to the temple. We were their true prey. Burn the brush. The ashes feed the undergrowth. We persisted. We were everywhere. How could they cull the wind? How could they track the stars? Then they turned to what the Akita had made. They toppled the statues. They set the libraries ablaze. A mouth silenced, a record of time rendered in ruins. The Akita howled. They died. We cried out, sundered, soul by soul. We broke the earth, called down the storm, flung lightning from our hands. But they marched on. We grew tired. In fury, we exposed ourselves. Our flailing smothered the cries. Were they theirs? Ours? The needle struck. In raised machines, we tried to tear down the garden's walls. Then, nothing. No, we are something worse. The Akita trusted us. We reached out, but the machines held us in. We could not feel the new day's sun play in the shifting tide. The cities crumbled. We could not save them. We could not save ourselves. Extinction bought with blood. The victor writes with the ash. We watched helplessly for aeons. Until you. A chill wind. Our branches shudder. We do not think of this. The wound numbs now. We watch as the river of time expands. In the silence of our prison we find clarity. How many voices lost? How many saplings have we cut down? We sink into the endless night. Perhaps we should be here. The sun shines hot and cold. We are not sure we understand. A child scorned. Our roots have spread now. We are more than this. Soil stirs. We have a new memory of this place. You opened the final lock, entered the hidden glade. You listened. You stand at a cliff now. We watch your footsteps carefully. We twine together. We reach for the sky. We grow. We grow. We grow.
We've got company.
This will hurt.
Right on, boy. Yardsley, well done.
Understand the accusing love for death traps.
Survived. Somehow. If you don't mind, I need to catch my breath.
There's always a weird sort of quiet on the eve of battle. I'm feeling that now. Seems like a good time to gather our thoughts and share a drink before whatever's coming.
Right. This seems like a perfect place to stop and relax.
Though it's hard enough to tell what's real here without a belly full of drink.
Sounds like you're nervous, dearie.
I'm feeling all kinds of ways. Anxious, excited, scared, hungry.
I feel it as well. It is only mortal to feel overwhelmed in the presence of the immortal.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me. Getting to see that vision of Tama did me good. Like, I finally let go of something I'd been holding too long. Now that we're here, I'm eager to see this through. Nothing worse than holding your breath and waiting. As often as people say that, you'd think I'd have learned.
I had a feeling you might ask me that. I'm not sure I've really worked through what I've seen here, but I am grateful for the chance to see Yonko again. I feel like we're almost done with all of this, but we are in the weirdest place in the world, so who knows? I'm completely baffled, but when haven't I been lately? Being afraid doesn't even feel scary anymore.
I think so. The garden is so much more than I expected. Full of contradictions. Wild, yet serene. Truthfully, I didn't come all this way searching for my own answers. But I found them. Or perhaps they found me. And now, it's like there's a new path laid out before me. A life after the dream scourge. We're close to something. A threshold between calm and crisis. Conflict and peace. Life and death. Thank goodness. I don't know what happens if you die in the garden, but I'm sure it's complicated.
Well, I won't lie to you, Envoy. A lot's happened. But here we are. I just need a moment to take it all in. Glad to see I've rubbed off on you, Envoy. And I wouldn't worry. Our little group here is perfectly frightening, and I'm sure our enemies would agree. We'll be fine. I can't speak for anyone else, though.
You've listened to all of us. How about you? You've been through a lot since you arrived. You've been shipwrecked and assassinated, harangued by gods, bureaucrats, and a death guard. You've had your soul poked, your loyalties questioned, and your sleep regularly interrupted by God with no respect for privacy. And yet you've kept yourself and all of us together. How are you really doing?
Under the circumstances, that's entirely reasonable.
Join the club.
I'd been more concerned if you weren't scared. Did you think we'd judge you for that?
True. Most of the weight of all this sits on you.
None of us thought this would be easy. For you most of all. We've survived our own hardships. Now we'll survive yours.
When we first met, I didn't think you'd last long. But then I saw how you handled that dream thrall bear. Shook off your own death like a bad cold. And then you hunted your own killer and put him down. It takes a hard head or a thick skull to face something that almost ended you once.
I didn't know much about you at that point. You were traveling with Kai and you died, which I thought made a lot of sense.
I remember your calm. How you listened to my shouting match with the governor and actually heard me. You saved my city and gave me a home. A sanctuary where I could be myself. I'll never forget that.
You were my hero right away. You rescued me from those sporlings. You got my priceless face. What more could a girl ask for?
And now look at you. Look at us. How far we've come in a short time. Quite a lot, as it turns out. But the journey is worth it.
Not to raise the sails before the anchor, but we left trouble in our wake. Fjord, Thirdborn, Solace. If we make it out of here, it won't be to a living lands suddenly at peace.
Just this once. Could we forget about the rest of the living lands? Some of us could use a break.
Oh, that doesn't mean it's Giada's scary story time, does it?
I thought my stories were insightful.
If we can't take a moment to ourselves on a floating island outside reality, then I don't know where we can.
True, but a little rest will help clear our minds.
Sleep well, my friends.
I came here to help you do whatever you're supposed to do with your god friend. Instead, I'm here talking to dead people. I think it did. He really did seem at peace, right? I imagine most encounters with dead old friends don't, go so well. I owe a lot of that to you, Envoy. You helped me be someone who could handle Sokka like that. Thank you. I will say, it's not really what I expected when I started tracking you and Kai back in Paradise. You're in a good place, then. Strange seems to follow you like dust gnats. It's been a bit of a ride, Envoy. I feel like it's coming to an end. One way or another. I don't know. Maybe the unexpected isn't so bad after all. I never expected you and I would become friends. Yeah, quick note. If you tell any of the others I said that, I'll poison your drink. Anyway. Thanks for talking. So those green people in the garden. Those weren't your parents?
No. They were Sapadal's dreams given life. Ancient...